Hello everyone, welcome back to Vedic Enigma. So I hope that all of you are doing amazing. And in this video, we will be talking about foreign travel and foreign settlement. So how can you see this using your own kundli? And I will keep it very simple. So there are a few combinations and there are certain things that you need to see in the chart. And we will also be seeing three example charts, with the help of which we will understand that how, the people they settled in foreign and what are the combinations for the same. So let's start with the video. So first, for seeing any kind of foreign, anything connected with foreign also, like even if you want to settle down in a foreign country. So firstly, combinations needs to be there in the chart which shows foreign travel. And we know that in astrology, there are few houses that are linked, with foreign countries and with traveling. Like, for example, the 12th house is connected with foreign lands. And so all these houses you should first note down in the chart. And depending upon the combinations that, I will be talking about, you can see whether yogas are being formed in the chart or not. So first is the 12th house, which denotes foreign lands. Then it is the third house, which is the house of short distance traveling. So it is also connected with traveling. Then we have the ninth house, which is connected with long distance traveling. So suppose you are going from Delhi to London, so that would be a long distance travel. So it will come under the ninth house. But if suppose you are going from Mumbai to, for example, Indore, that would be a short distance travel because it is happening in the same country. So that is seen from the third house. And then we also look at the seventh house, which also shows foreign countries and places away from your home. And because it is four places away from the fourth house, so seventh house also has the energy of foreign countries. So these are the few houses that we need to see. Now, the Lagna, the first lord, that represents you. So if so, the Lagna has to be connected with these houses. So first combination is this, that if suppose your Lagna lord is connected with the third house, ninth house, 12th house, or seventh house in any manner, it can even be an exchange, which is called as a Parivartan Yoga. So suppose the first lord is in the 12th house and the 12th lord is in the first house in your chart. So there is a very strong Parivartan Yoga now happening between the first and the 12th house. So that is also a very strong indication that the combination is there in the chart, which supports foreign travel and foreign settling in a foreign country in your case. Then we need to see that which are the planets that are sitting in these houses. So suppose you have a lot of planets sitting in these particular houses, like suppose there is a cluster of planets in the 12th house, or there is a cluster of planets in the ninth house or the third house or the seventh house, then that is also an indication that it is promoting and supporting anything connected with foreign in the chart. Then there are a few signs that we need to see, like we know that we have 12 zodiac signs, and there are certain signs that are called as movable signs because they are chara, signs. So they are connected with quick movements and travel. So those are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So suppose you see in your chart that a lot of planets are sitting in these particular signs, or if the third, ninth, 12th, the first lord and the seventh lord, these houses lords are sitting in these particular zodiac signs that are movable, then also there is a very high strong an indication that the person will travel to foreign countries and can also settle down in a foreign land. So on the basic level, like these are the yogas that are there. Now, if we go a little deep, we will also try to understand that what are the different combinations that support the person's stay in a foreign country. Like if you want to settle down in a different country, so what is the very first thing that you need to see in the chart? So firstly, that your fourth house. So fourth house represents your home and the place where you are staying. So if you want to leave your home country and go to a different land altogether, so fourth house needs to be in affliction in some manner. So without affliction to the fourth house or the fourth lord, no person can actually settle in a foreign country. So that is the very first condition. And this needs to be seen not only in the D1 chart, but also in the D9 chart. So the D9 chart also becomes very important to look at all these combinations. And with the help of example charts also, we will see that how the D9 also plays a very important role in this. So if suppose you see that the fourth, lord is suppose connected with the 12th house, or it is in the 8th house, or even if it's sitting in its own house, there are a few cases in which that can also happen, that the fourth house is strong because the fourth lord is in the fourth house, but there will be some aspects, like there will be some malefic aspects onto the fourth house. So if the fourth lord is not in any kind of affliction, at least malefic aspects needs to be there on the fourth house. So this is a prerequisite to settle yourself in a foreign country. Then the second most important thing when we talk about foreign settlement is Rahu. And this you will see also plays a very important role in any kind of foreign travel, because Rahu is a planet that is very strongly connected with foreign culture, with foreign places. So if suppose you have Rahu placed in the 12th house, in the first house, in the fourth house, seventh house, ninth house, third house. So in all these houses, Rahu makes a natural combination to support foreign travel and foreign settlement. And even out of all of these houses, if you see the fourth house, the eighth house also, sorry, and the 12th house. So these three houses become very, very pivotal in supporting foreign settlement. Like suppose you have Rahu in the 12th house, fourth or the eighth house, and you have Rahu Mahadasha going on, then there's a very high probability that that event can culminate into something big. And also there are other few combinations that are connected with Rahu that you can see in the chart. So very first combination is Rahu with Moon. So if suppose Rahu and Moon are placed in the same house, or suppose they are placed 212 from each other or in a trinal position from each other. Like suppose you have Rahu in the first house and Moon is in the fifth house or in the ninth house, or the second house or the 12th house from Rahu, then we can say that Rahu and Moon are connected in the chart. So that also, because Moon also represents travel, any kind of change, any kind of movement, and Rahu is connected with foreign. So it shows the person's mind will be diverted and will be, always focused on things of the other culture, things of the other countries, and it supports any kind of foreign travel and foreign movement. So in a lot of charts, you will see that Rahu and Moon are strongly connected. And the second combination that can happen with Rahu is Rahu's connection with Jupiter. So if suppose you have Rahu Jupiter in the same house, or like 159 from each other, or 212. So in these combinations also, it shows a person can be connected with foreign countries. A person can travel a lot and can even settle down in a foreign country. So again, like on the face of it, these are a few combinations that you will see working in the chart. And definitely you will be now wondering that when exactly this event will happen. So what I have told you so far are the combinations, and there can be many such combinations that can work in the chart. But these are just a few combinations that you can see. And definitely the second step, to seeing the event is that the Mahadasha or the Antardasha needs to come. The time period of these planets have to come, which shows foreign travel, foreign settlement in your chart. And on the third level is the transit. So transit means the gochar, like, the current movement of planets. So the transit also needs to support all of these, then only the event will happen. So the Mahadasha, Antardasha in which it can happen very strongly, and you will see, like, for example, Rahu Mahadasha only, like many people, go to foreign countries and they start their foreign endeavors in Rahu Mahadasha or Rahu Antardasha, because that is a planet that is the natural significator of anything connected with foreign. So if suppose you have Rahu Mahadasha coming on or the Antardasha is coming on, it shows that the probability chances become very high in the chart. Second is that you see the Mahadasha, or the Antardasha of the 12th house, the third house, the ninth house, or the seventh house. So these are again the houses that are connected with foreign journeys, with travel, and with foreign lands. So suppose you have the Lord, like suppose you are a Virgo ascendant and you have Sun Mahadasha coming on, which is the 12th house Lord. So again, it can support and it can show that the person can move to a different country in this time period. But again, the combination needs to be made, like in the chart. Like suppose your Lagna Lord and the Sun, like Mercury and Sun are conjunct in the chart, in this example only. Or suppose the 12th Lord is in the ninth house, or the 12th Lord is making some connection with Mars, which is the third house. So all these connections first need to be made in the chart. And then if the Mahadasha or the Antardasha comes, then and the transit also supports it, then the event will happen. So in this manner, in this sequence, we need to look at. And there is another thing that you need to take into account is that sometimes you will see that a lot of events are not seen from the Lagna chart, like from the D1 chart. itself, like in the sense that you have to sometimes make the sun the ascendant of the chart, or sometimes you have to make moon the ascendant of the chart, or sometimes it's even the ascendant lord itself. So now this will depend on that which particular planet is the strongest in your chart. So suppose you feel like sun is, really, it has a lot of digbal, like it has a lot of directional strength. It is in the 10th house, or it is exalted in the chart. It is in Aries or it's in Leo without any afflictions. Then you can say that, okay, the sun is strong in the chart. So you make sun the ascendant and try to see all these combinations that I mentioned from the sun lagna. And now suppose if your moon is more stronger and powerful than all these other planets, like suppose moon is exalted, it is in the 4th house, it is with Jupiter and it's in good dignity and strength, then you can make moon the ascendant and then you can see all these combinations. So sometimes you will see that people have settled and they have gone to different countries, but those combinations are not being able, they are not visible if you see them from the Lagna chart, like from the main chart that is there. So sometimes you have to make the Lagna Lord the ascendant. So how do you make Lagna Lord the ascendant? So this is something which is known as the Paka Lagna. So Paka Lagna means that suppose, let's say you are a Capricorn ascendant, okay, and suppose you have Saturn placed in the 7th house in the sign of Cancer. So you will make Saturn the ascendant, like you will make it a Cancer ascendant with, and Saturn will come in this Lagna, and then you will see all the planets from there. So this is your Paka Lagna, but this is only true if suppose you feel like the Lagna Lord has a lot of strength and that is placed, in good dignity, then you make the Lagna Lord the ascendant and try to see all these combinations that I mentioned from there. So this is how you need to see in your chart. Okay, so let's look at, all the combinations, that we have discussed so far. And plus, there are a few more combinations also that I have mentioned in this list. So first is the ascendant's connection with the 12th house, 3rd house, 9th house, or the 7th house. So this definitely needs to be there, in any case, even if you want to travel to a foreign country or you want to settle down in a foreign land. And also pay close attention to the exchanges, the parivartan that are happening between these particular houses. So there can be a possibility that the 1st and the 12th are in an exchange, 1st and 9th is an exchange, 1st and 7th, and 1st and 3rd, lords are in exchanges. So those things also support any kind of foreign travel, foreign movement. So second is the Rahu's connection with Moon or Jupiter. So like I mentioned that we pay attention to the trinal, connections over here. And also if suppose they are conjunct in the same house or they are 212 from each other. So that is the second combination. The third would be Rahu's placement in the 4th house, 12th house, 7th house, 1st, 3rd, 9th, 8th. So I know that there are a lot of houses. But again, here, like I mentioned, that 4th, 12th, and 8th are the most prominent houses for foreign settlement. And if suppose you have Rahu in the 3rd house, 9th house, 1st house, 7th house, it's suppose more of foreign travel. So definitely, but people who are settled, in different countries, they would have Rahu in the 9th house, 3rd house can also be present. But more strong combinations, most powerful placements of Rahu for foreign settlement is these three, the 4th, 12th, and the 8th. Then something which I did not mention while speaking. So this is the nakshatra parivartan happening between the 4th and the 12th house lords. So nakshatra parivartan, as in, like, suppose if we take an example of a Virgo ascendant. Okay, so the 4th house is ruled by Jupiter. Okay, now suppose Jupiter is placed in Uttara Falguni nakshatra. So Uttara Falguni I mentioned because it is a nakshatra that is ruled by the sun, ruled by sun. Or let's say Jupiter is placed in Kritika nakshatra, that is also ruled by sun. And the 12th house lord. So sun is suppose placed in Vishakha nakshatra or it is placed in Purva Bhadrapada nakshatra. So these nakshatras are ruled by Jupiter. Okay, so then we can say that there is a nakshatra parivartan happening between the 4th and the 12th house lords. So this is something which sometimes people miss out, but these things also work. Then we see that cluster of planets situated in the 12th house, 9th house, or the 7th house. So suppose you have a lot of, like, 4 planets have come in the 12th house, or a lot of planets are there in the 9th house or the 7th house. This also shows that the person can move and would want to move to a foreign country and would like to travel a lot. Then movable signs needs to be paid close attention to, because Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So see which all planets are there, or whether you have more number of planets in these particular rashis. And plus, the sign of Pisces also becomes very prominent because it is naturally the 12th house. And plus, all these combinations needs to be validated and seen in the D9 chart. So suppose you don't have, these kind of combinations in the D1, but in the D9 it is showing very strongly, then also it shows that the event can happen, because D9 represents the things that happen in the second part of life, the fruits of the planets that are, there in the D1 chart. Then if you see that fourth lord placement in movable signs, so suppose let's say that you are a Scorpio ascendant and the fourth house is ruled by Saturn. So you see that if suppose Saturn or Rahu, like whichever is stronger, is placed in movable rashis, in these particular rashis, then also it supports that the person can move their house a lot, and they can easily settle down in a different place. Rahu's connection with the fourth lord. So this also needs to be seen, like suppose the fourth lord is conjunct Rahu. So then also it would give similar results. Or suppose you say that the 12th lord is conjunct Rahu. So that is also one way to look at it. And affliction on the fourth house and moon. So as we know that fourth house is very important, for any kind of foreign settlement, because it represents our homeland, our home. And moon is the karak of the, say, natural significator of the fourth house. So that is why affliction to the moon also in a way supports your travel to a different place and your like settlement in a different country. So affliction on the moon also, you will observe in charts that people who have settled and they have gone far away from their homeland, their moon is definitely in affliction. And the fourth house is also in affliction. And lastly, moon's connection with the 12th house. So this also in a way shows that if moon is placed in the 12th house, it's connected with the 12th lord, or it's in the sign of Pisces, a person will think about travel a lot and they would want to, settle down in a different place, because moon represents your mind, the way you're thinking. So it shows you're constantly thinking about, foreign things and connected with different places. So again, this is just a gist of, all the combinations that we have spoken about. And there can be many more combinations also, but I've just tried to keep it very simple, for this particular video. So you can see all these combinations, and definitely all these combinations need to be seen in the D9 as well. So when we talk about a foreign settlement, so firstly I mentioned that to see any kind of foreign settlement, first the person has to, go to a foreign country. So that is why the combinations and the yogas for foreign travel needs to be there in the chart, even if the person wants to settle in a foreign country. But along with that, you also have to pay a very close attention to the fourth lord and fourth house's connection with the ninth house, the 12th house, the third house, or the seventh house. So these connections also need to be somewhere made in the chart. Then only the person can be, settling down in a foreign country. So now let us look at some example charts and see that how, this is working. Okay, so this is the first chart that we have. And you can see that this is the chart in which there is foreign travel also, and there is foreign settlement also. So the person is involved in a work which is very strongly connected with different countries. And the person has to travel a lot for work. And the person is also, settled in a place away from his home country. So foreign settlement is also there. And this is the D1 chart and this is the D9 chart. So now first, let's look at the chart. So firstly, we see that the Lagna Lord, like which is Mercury in this case, and Mercury is connected with the 12th house because the Lagna Lord is going in the 12th house. And in this chart, we also see that the Sun is the third Lord. Okay, so third and Lagna Lord is also connected. So connection between first and the third house. And then we look at Mercury is also the fourth Lord. And fourth is making a direct connection with the 12th house. And remember what I told you about the cluster of planets also. So we see that there is a cluster of planets that are there in the 12th house. Three planets have come. Saturn is also strong. So the ninth lord is also strong in the sense that ninth house is connected with foreign travel. It is sitting in its own house. And here, we notice something peculiar that you see that Jupiter is there in the fourth house, and there are two benefic aspects on the fourth house of Venus and Moon. So in a way, the fourth house is not under severe affliction also. But at the same time, we also see that Ketu is aspecting the fourth house. And the fourth lord has gone in the 12th house with Ketu. So in that sense, the affliction is coming. So there can be a possibility that on the face of it, the fourth house appears very beautiful. But when you see deep down inside, you will see that some affliction will be there to the fourth house. Without the affliction, the person cannot move to a different country. So that is something which is very clear. And even in the D9 chart, we see that they have Moon, Mercury, Sun in the fourth house. And again, Mars is looking at the fourth house, even in the D9 chart. So this is how, and the fourth lord also, if you see Saturn, it is connected again with Mars. So in this sense, you can see that, connections are being made in the chart. Then I also said something about movable signs. And in the movable signs, I forgot to mention one sign that is not movable, but it is the sign of Pisces. So Pisces sign also needs to be paid close attention to, because sometimes in the charts you will observe that some people have settled in foreign countries and they have a cluster of planets in the sign of Pisces, because this is originally the 12th house. Okay, so you could even, like, suppose you have Moon in the sign of Pisces, that also supports foreign travel and foreign settlement. So it is one of the combinations. So we see that in this case, the native has Venus also and Moon also in the sign of Pisces. So this is also one way. And the 12th lord, if you see, is Venus. That is also connected with Moon in the sign of Pisces. So there are a lot of connections that are, being made in this chart that shows that the person can settle in a foreign country. So now let's look at the second chart. So this is a chart of foreign settlement. So the person moved away from their home place and they settled down in a foreign country. And here, the very first thing we see is that Rahu is there in the 12th house. So that is what I told about Rahu. And in the third chart also, you will see Rahu is in the 12th house. So this is a very strong combination, actually, if you have Rahu in the 12th house, 4th house, or the 8th house, because in whichever house Rahu will be, it will aspect, these other two houses, and it will always aspect the 4th house, because 4th house is the house of your homeland. So it is a separative planet in the sense that it, takes you away from your home place, and it is connected with foreign. So it shows that you can go to a foreign city, like in a foreign place, like, the culture can be different from that place. So here also we see that the Lagna Lord first we see is, Jupiter, and Jupiter is placed in the 10th house. And again, Jupiter is giving a benefic aspect on the 4th house. So again, the 4th house is not under, like, we cannot say that it is completely afflicted. But again, we see that there are two malefic aspects on the 4th house. So one is coming from Rahu from the 12th house, and another is coming from Mars from the 9th house. So this is why the 4th house is under affliction. So this is something that you will see in all charts, that in some way or the other, affliction to the 4th house or the 4th lord will be there in the chart. And in this also, we see that the 4th lord is Jupiter and Ketu is afflicting it, because Ketu is aspecting Jupiter in this chart. So that affliction is also there. And we see that I told you one of the combinations for, foreign travel and foreign settlement. And this person has also traveled to a lot of places. And you have Rahu and Moon connected. So they are in trines with each other. So this is one of the combinations that indicates that the person can travel a lot. And here, if we look at the Navamsha chart, so we see that there are a cluster of planets coming in the 12th house in the Navamsha chart. And one very interesting way can also be to see the 4th lord's placement of the D1 chart in the Navamsha chart. So in this, we see that, it is Jupiter, of the 4th house of the D1 chart. And here, if we see the 4th lord, it is Mercury. And both of these planets are connected with the 12th house. So here, if you see all these kendras of the Navamsha chart, the first, fourth, seventh, tenth, all have come in the 12th house. And Ketu is again afflicting the fourth house here. So again, this show very strongly indicates that the person will, move to a foreign country in the second part of life, especially or after marriage. So that ways it becomes very strong. So again, like sometimes, we need to look at the Navamsha also, because in the Navamsha chart also you will see that combinations, need to be made that, confirm the same thing. And this is the last chart of foreign settlement. So in this chart also we see that Rahu is there in the 12th house in both the charts. You see in the D1 and as well as in the D9. And this becomes a very, very strong, combination that the person can move to a foreign country. And then we also see over here that 12th house is making a connection with the Lagna. So the 12th Lord is Jupiter and it is coming in the Lagna. So this is also one of the combinations that I mentioned. And over here also you will see that 4th Lord is in the 4th house itself. So it is strong in that way. And even in the D9, you see that the 4th house, 4th Lord is in the 4th house. But again, we see that over here there is an affliction of Rahu coming from the 12th house. And also, in a way, we see that Mars is still a malefic planet. Like even though it is the fourth, lord in this case, and but still it is a functional, like it is still considered a malefic planet. So we have a combination of Rahu and Mars happening on the fourth house. And a very peculiar thing about this chart is that you see that there are, 5 planets sitting in the Chara Rashis in the movable signs. So Sun, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Moon. So this also indicates that the person will have a lot of travel, a lot of shifting movement in their life. And the more number of planets you have in the Chara signs, the higher probability becomes that the person can move to a different country. And, so because they are not fixed signs, so suppose you have a lot of planets in fixed signs, which is like 2, 5, 8, 11, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. So they don't, they resist change, any kind of change in life. So that is also one way to see that. And in this chart, we also see that, the moon is in the 7th house. So 7th house also, I said, is strongly connected with foreign countries and it represents places away from your home. So, and even in this chart, you see that moon was in, the sign of Cancer in a Chara sign. And in the D1 chart of this chart, which is the first chart, you have moon in the sign of Pisces. So again, like I said, that all these Chara, Rashis and the sign of Pisces is strongly connected with foreign travel and foreign movement. So this is also one way in which you can, see all these things. And plus, along with these things, it is very essential to see the transits also of the planets. So after seeing all the combinations and the time periods of the planets that are going to come, so it is also very essential to look at the transits because transits will deliver the final results of any event. So the transits that are very supportive, and can show foreign travel, foreign settlement is firstly the transit of Rahu needs to be looked at. So suppose you see that Rahu is transiting your Lagna, the 7th house, the 3rd house, 9th house, 4th house, 8th house, or the 12th house. So I know that a lot of houses are involved, but all of these houses, the transits, through all these houses of Rahu can support any kind of foreign travel. And the strongest would definitely be the transit of Rahu through the 12th house and through the 4th house. And the 9th house transit of Rahu is very good for any kind of foreign travel. So, in those 18 months, maybe you will travel to different places or you will see a lot of different cultures. So that possibility is very high. But if you are seeing from settlement point of view, then the transit of the 12th house through the 12th house of the 4th house and the 8th house needs to be looked at because these 3 transits would be very supportive if the person is looking to settle down in a foreign country. And the next thing that needs to be looked at is the transit of Jupiter and Saturn. So suppose you find that Jupiter is also transiting the 9th house, the 12th house, and the 4th house also. So because if Jupiter transits the 4th house and simultaneously suppose Saturn is also aspecting that particular house in the transit, then it shows that some event connected with the fourth house, some change of place, change of country can happen, and that event can get triggered. So that is also one way to look at it, which can indicate that the person can move to a different country. And on the third level, it is also very essential to look at Rahu's transit over your natal Jupiter. Okay, so if suppose Jupiter is placed in the sign of Virgo for you and Rahu is transiting over the sign of Virgo, then that can also indicate that you can be connected with a foreign country in this time and you can settle down in a foreign place. As well as Rahu's transit over your natal moon can also trigger, some foreign travel and connection with foreign lands. So these are also some of the ways by which you can see that whether the upcoming transits are supportive or, they are showing something else in the chart. But definitely, if you try to see all of these combinations, and especially if you try to make that particular, house the lagna, where a lot of strength is there in the planet. Like suppose sun is very strong, you make that the lagna. Moon is very strong, you make that the lagna. So through that also you will get really good results. And try to use all these techniques. And if you have any questions or any queries, then let me know in the comments below. So I will try to answer, all your queries. So thank you so much for watching and see you all the next time.